Hey, thank you very much for watching this video. You know, in negotiations, there are few exceptions where operating from a position of mutual trust and respect to determine what is right versus manipulation and persuasion, therefore who is right, is not a better option to choose. A position when negotiating is only as powerful as the principles on which it stands. So if a position is emotional, if it's biased, or if the position is designed to inflict harm, that position is not only at risk, but it will push the other people further away on the negotiating table and further from a reconcilable position. In dealing with troubled teenagers when they're triggered, let's say a couple is at each other because they're getting a divorce, or they're arguing over the children, or the way the money will be dispersed upon divorce, or in the financial world, which I've spent 30 years in, there's always common ground that people share. The problem is when a bias gets inserted, the common ground is oftentimes no longer seen. So what I found to be most impactful, especially when learning to negotiate properly or teaching the idea of negotiation, is going back to the root of emotional intelligence, starting with self-awareness. You can't regulate a different type of behavior. You can't regulate a bias out. You can't self-regulate this intensity that you oftentimes get when you get triggered if you're not aware of the impact of said intensity. So every person comes to the table with three parts. There's three parts to the pie. Part one is the IQ. And that person will gather the facts and put together all the different ideas and positions. Okay, that's great. Part two is the personality. Are they humorous? Are they more serious? Are they sarcastic? That's the personality. Neither one of those can be changed or altered. They're static or they're fixed. What can be taught is the emotional intelligence. Part three. Emotional intelligence is the ability to read the space, to not only understand and hear the words, but to know what they really mean, to get the intonation. What impact does the intonation have? And then, what impact does the body language have? All three of those component parts constitute the space in which you're talking. Emotional intelligence is that capacity to read the space and not lose focus or not lose control over where are we really going. Too often the intent is to win at all costs, which is really lose-lose. We miss the point of win-win. Win-win is when you seek for what is right because your position is based on principle. You cannot have principle if you're all biased and it's very emotional and you've lost control. So your downstairs brain's controlled versus the upstairs brain's understanding. It works best when you're integrated, the two, instead of fragmented apart. In negotiating, the ability to move to a neutral position is paramount. That gives the other person the chance to not be triggered and then also deal in much more of a logical, or what we call an integrated position. I've spent over 20 years working in the prison system with addicts, with inmates, teaching them these emotional intelligence skills. 30 years as a scoutmaster, 30 years in the financial industry. I work with couples and have worked with couples for over 10 years. Crises interventions. I've worked with collaborative attorneys and business people. The mortgage industry, the insurance industry. I'm a workplace bully expert, not that I'm good at bullying, I just understand what it looks like. And I deal a lot with addiction recovery. Everything that I've just explained to you hinges on a singular foundation of emotional intelligence. When we do the training, it's because we're going to be doing training in an arena that has the greatest impact upon successful negotiations. Emotional intelligence. Becoming aware of the situation, learning how to regulate it, developing the said empathy necessary to effectively negotiate, and then dealing off of mutual trust and respect. Thanks for watching the video. And regardless of the decision you make, I wish you the best in your endeavors. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.